he's got until May 17th to clean it up. If he doesn't do something, then we'll have to take some additional action to enforce the judgment order. Same thing with George's, except George's is that property on McKean Road. They have an auto salvage business there. Their issue was that they were parking vehicles, unregistered vehicles, in an area where they were not permitted to park them. They have agreed in a settlement agreement, and that's entered into an order that they will not do that anymore. So now we have an order that prohibits them from doing that. If they do violate that order, they have agreed also to receive a ticket and pay a ticket, a fine of $300, an additional cost to the township in the amount of $400. In addition, if they do continue, I mean, again, we can go into court and bring them in for contempt if they continue to violate that provision. So that case is done. There may be additional violations, but we have a remedy for those additional violations now. We just have to see if they comply with their agreement. Lincoln Schools, we are postured for a settlement agreement, a settlement conference with the judge on May 16th. We finally got that date confirmed with the court. I know Brian's going to be there, I think Susan's going to be there, Michael Gleason will be there, and then your attorney will be there. So that's moving forward. Hopefully there'll be some constructive remedy at the end of the settlement agreement. We'll have to wait and see. Todd Waller is that case out on Bunton Road where he started an excavation operation, basically removing a bunch of soils from the property from pond excavation. In that case, the circuit court case was started. We attempted to settle it. We were not successful in coming to a settlement agreement, but we don't necessarily dispute what the general facts are in the case. So what we did was we stipulated to a statement of facts. We filed that with the court, and there's a hearing in that matter scheduled on May 8th, next week. The judge will, I filed a brief in the case, they filed a brief in the case. The judge will take a look at the law, take a look at the facts, and make a decision in that case. Hopefully it'll be in the township's favor. If not, we'll have to talk about what we want to do anything beyond that. I think that the law is fairly solid for the township in that case, but judges have been known to disagree. So then we have Mitchell's, and we had a status conference with the court on April 18th, and in that case, we put that status conference out to June 13th to give the parties a further opportunity to try to resolve issues related to an expansion that they did out there. They have prepared new engineering plans as requested by the township and the county, okay, to basically describe everything that's out there on the ground, okay, and the engineers have to say, I can't do that part of it. The engineers have to take a look at it. Now the county's involved, their engineers are going to take a look at it also. We're going to see what issues still remain out there, and we're going to try to resolve them. So we have the next hearing date on that. It's another status conference on June 13th, and if we don't have any progress at that time, I think that the judge is probably going to be a little reluctant to put the case off too much longer. So they might push us into some type of a trial situation. We'll just have to wait and see. My hope and expectation is that we'll resolve that case for a lot of good reasons that we did speak about at one time previously in both sessions. So then there's Ranger Power, right? So they're postured for final site plan approval. Their planning division has that on May 15th. I don't know at this point if they have filed everything that they need, because I haven't seen a report from the planner yet, or the engineer, but they were supposed to be on the agenda in April, but they did not, they did not file everything that they needed to file the final site plan review and approval. So it was put off until May. As you know, Rail Splitter 2 was the subject of a litigation and a consent judgment. So assuming that they had, in that particular project, assuming that they had everything on the final site plan that was in the preliminary site plan and that's required of them in the consent judgment, the Planning Commission will be in a position of approving the final site plan, and I will probably attend that meeting to make sure that, in fact, that they understand that, the failure to do so, assuming, they get a clean report from the planner and the engineer, everything's there, everything looks good, the Planning Commission will not, if the Planning Commission decides to not approve it, okay, it would be problematic, could we could potentially be in violation of the consent judgment or the consent commission. So I will be there to reinforce the need for the Planning Commission to understand what it is that they need to do with respect.
Pardon me, they can't hear you back here.
You can't hear me back there?
No.
Well, this is for the board anyway, it doesn't necessarily, they don't necessarily have to hear everything that I'm saying, but.
Oh, us paying taxes, we're not good enough to hear what you're saying. Is that what you're saying?
Pardon me?
No.
I'm sure you heard me. Can you please speak up a little louder so that we can all hear you? We would appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so then there's the Saline Dog Park case, that is the, on Wilson Bucky there.
You can't do that.
That's
No,
what-
yes, no,
that-
you can't.
They have finally filed a final site plan that has been approved by both the planner and the engineer. I sent a letter actually yesterday to the owner of that property along with her engineer indicating that that site plan now is approved, that final site plan is now approved. They have 90 days to make the improvements necessary on that property to finish it up, basically. So that's moving forward. That was the subject of the consent judgment. Then there's KV Landscape. Not much has changed since the last time that I was here. That one's still in the Court of Appeals. We're waiting for, everything's been done. The briefs have been filed. We're just waiting for the Court of Appeals to set a date for oral arguments in the case. If you recall, there were two cases involving KV. One of them was their appeal of the Planning Commission's decision to deny their special use permit. They appealed that to the circuit court. Township won that appeal, and then there was a township case to enforcement action that was filed in 2022 after the Planning Commission denied the conditional use permit, the special use permit. Then the township filed its suit. We won that suit also by a judgment of the circuit court. Now they have appealed that to the Court of Appeals, and now, as I say, we're just waiting for the briefs have been filed. We're just waiting for the Court of Appeals to set a date for oral arguments in that case. When that happens, we will have the oral arguments, and then the Court of Appeals will give us some type of a written opinion. I don't have any, projection when that's going to happen, when the oral argument is going to occur, or when the Court of Appeals will actually give its decision. It's entirely up to their scheduling system. And then, I think that's it.
All right, thank you very much.
I think that's it.
The second person you named on that list is, I didn't hear you who that was.
George's or Altenburg? Altenburg.
Okay. Is that a resident or a
Yeah,
business?
He's a resident,
So my question is any residents of Augusta Township exempt from the blight ordinance?
Well, not necessarily exempt from the blight ordinance, but, you know, everything is dependent upon facts, okay? And, you know,
I just,
and typically there's a question of enforcement, okay? There's always a question of when and how much the township wants to enforce a particular violation. And the decision often is made based upon how severe that violation is and whether or not it is something that can or cannot be seen, okay? So I can tell you that I've been doing this for a long time, and, you know, typically we don't go out and look for violations. The township does not go out and look for violations generally, okay? But when they are reported, okay, typically we end up trying to do something to enforce the ordinances, and that enforcement may not be the issuance of a citation. It may be, or the starting of a new lawsuit. It may just be writing a letter indicating that, you know, you've got a problem out here, you need to take care of it. If you don't take care of it, then further consequences may occur. In other words, a threatening letter indicating that if you don't take care of the problem, we will potentially go to court, okay? But I can tell you that, maybe I shouldn't say this in public, but, you know, I'm not gonna say this in public, actually, so.
If you're questioning it.
So.
you answered my question.
Okay, good. So I think that's,
Yeah.
All right, I make a motion to
that's
accept
all I got.
the attorney's report is given.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. James, you're up.
So, March and April, seems like you guys had the meeting kind of late in the month, did March and April together. Cummins came out to service the generator. It's been quite some time. To our knowledge, the generator's never been serviced, so we did a load bank test done on it. Basically, puts that generator under load and see how it performs. So, nothing came up major, so it's good news. Performed disconnect. We disconnected a commercial property over on Judd Road. I did a complete disconnect on the service line, on the main line, basically disconnected them from water service. So it was on Pinchers. So that, and then Amy lift station still has had some problems. That's why we got the 16 lift station issues. You'll see at the bottom in the overall. We're working on getting that resolved. The lift station itself is obsolete. The pumps are obsolete. We can't get those pumps, so we're trying to rebuild it in place. But we also have been trying to work in the utility department and the meeting room, just kind of get a capital plan for the future and what we're going to do in the future. So, any questions?
That about it?
That's about it.
Okay, thank you very much.
I do have a question. So are we already working on the valve replacement that we?
Yes. Yeah, we are, me and Mike actually had a meeting today, had them pretty much weekly. We haven't replaced any valves yet, but he's getting them together. Emma and Alan went around and opened up as many as we could to see, especially down Talladega, the main section, the oldest section that we have, to get pictures and really see what if, because UMS did some bolt replacements and that, so it's like, well, if they did that, then probably shouldn't do it, but yeah, so we are working forward on that.
James, I have a
Good,
question for you.
good, good.
When you spoke to Augusta and had them turn the water, do they turn the water pressure down, drop it?
Yeah,
And what are we at now?
we should be around 80,
80?
yes, yeah. We're still creeping up, so it's constant fluctuation. So
Okay, has there been a reduction in breakage or seepage? Are we losing any less water?
There, on that front, there's been, we have found something. I want to keep it close, but there is an anomaly that we have found that kind of pinpoints, that doesn't pinpoint one particular thing, but it gives us a way better idea of what's going on.
Okay, and
So the reduction in pressure, we're still right there about 26%. Yeah.
will they drop any lower? Can we get them to drop any lower than that?
80, 80 is residential plumbing code, max pressure. We start getting, so if we drop it, so if people in Bellemeade right here, they get 80, the people out on Oakville Waltz might only get 50. So that's kind of that delicate balance of trying to figure
Well,
out.
I
the pressure.
understand they're balancing it out to save themselves some money.
Well, no, I understand that, but we gotta make sure that we have to have 80, if we have 80 at Oakville Waltz, then we'll probably have like 85, 90 up here. It's just the pressure of the system. So it ain't gonna be universal through the whole system.
Well, why can't Yucca, out of their own pocket, instead of charging all the people for astronomical amounts of money for water? I vote no all the time because I don't have city water. I got well septic. For me to vote, say, yeah, you guys pay more. That's not right.
Oh.
No. But why can't Yucca put a booster pump, spend the money, put a booster pump, take care of the people that are down in the 70s?
Well, it wouldn't be a booster pump, it would be probably a PRV.
PRV.
We put PRV at the head of the inlet line. That would basically allow Augusta to regulate our pressure to them. They could send as much pressure as they want to that PRV, but then we could set the pressure for the rest of the system, Augusta itself,
Now, who would pay for that?
probably Augusta.
Pardon?
Augusta,
Augusta. Well,
yes.
okay.
Well, the thing is, we can ask Yucca to do this, we can ask them, and if they don't follow through, it's kind of, I mean, they're sending pressure. They've done it.
No, I understand, I
Yeah.
understand that, but I'm just saying, if they're expecting the good people of Augusta to pay for this water, they don't wanna put a PRV in there or anything else to help the people that are paying all this money for them, and they're sitting on a bankroll.
Yeah, I mean, again, I can bring it up. I don't know how the legalities of your contract reads and what you guys can demand them do.
Because if it saves us money in the long run with less breakage, and you found the anomaly,
Mhm.
perhaps that's the problem that was going all along, is the fact that they were punching us at 100 PSI.
I will say this, the anomaly does not look like it's anything to do with you.
I'm sorry?
The anomaly does not look like it has anything to do with Augusta. I mean, not Augusta, I'm sorry, Yucca. So,
I mean, I don't know if many municipalities are getting hit with 100 PSI through their pumping system, their water
there's,
service.
especially because we are the farthest, the outreaching system. Actually, we have quite a few of them throughout southeast Michigan that have the higher PSI. Now, yes, municipalities that have their own wells and that, they're running around 60 PSI, 60 to 55-ish. So, and I'm always getting constant complaints about pressure.
Detroit is bigger than Augusta, and they pump at 65.
But you're a pass-through. That's the
Sorry?
that you're a pass-through. So this is Detroit water that you're getting. You're getting boosted all the way through.
All of it, yeah.
Yeah, so you're in Detroit, you're a pass-through, so you don't have that high hit. So
Okay.
if technically if London Township was to tie into the system, your pressure would greatly reduced too, because it's just the end of the line.
Okay.
So
All right. Well, thank you very much. I make a motion to accept the utility report as given.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Supervisor's report. June 15th is spring cleanup at high school, and then June 5th, they're gonna start on that roundabout, so there's gonna have to be detours. That's about all I have right now. Clerk's report.
Okay, so the election news, the affidavit of identities and nominating petitions to run for the Board of Trustees positions in the township had to be in by Tuesday, April 23rd at 4 p.m. We have 4 people running for supervisor, 2 people for clerk, 2 people for treasurer, and 13 for the 4 trustee positions. I want to thank Mike, our election manager, for holding down the fort while Belinda and I attended the MTA conference. I submitted the reimbursement form for the February 27, 2024 election. It came to $20,262 that we should get back. Hopefully it won't take that long. At the conference, they were saying that they're still sending out reimbursement checks from November of 2023. The MTA conference, Educational Conference and Expo was last week. As always, it's a fountain of information. Since rules and regulations are always changing in government, it is valuable to attend the conference and get all the latest information. This year's theme was One Team. Great motivational speakers in the general session and at the opening session. I appreciate that the board supports training. We need to be of we need to be of good service to our community. It is also encouraging to find that other townships deal with many of the same issues that we do, and learning from them helps motivate others to do the best that they can for our communities. The audit, I want to remind everyone that the audit is scheduled for next month. A reminder to everyone that, okay, our year end is March 31st. I schedule our audit early for the following reasons. Our accounting practices result in our records being current and accurate. I'm proud of being one of the first townships to report audited information to the state of Michigan, and we have been one of the first for the last few years now. Remember that we're using new auditors this year. We're using Yo and Yo. I appreciate the support of my fellow board members and the Woodhill group. It can be disappointing when a team member makes false accusations about it. The Ottawa County watershed, we're still in the reviewing process of that, so I should have more on that at the next meeting. And I think that's it for my report. So, before I make the motion for the warrants, I do want to say that there was a mistake made. I'm trying to correct it. We were paying 2 phone bills for the supervisor. I spent an hour and a half on the phone last Friday trying to resolve the issue with Comcast. I'm hoping they'll refund us the $383 that we have already spent toward a second phone that was not in use. So I would make a motion to approve warrants 27218 through 27318.
Second. Susan?
Yes.
David?
Yeah.
Debbie's absent. Linda's absent. Chris?
Yeah.
Shelby, yes. Kim?
Yes.
Okay.
Also, we have our March 31st, 2024 financial reports. And I want to, Belinda pointed out to me that due to the treasurer's investment decisions, every department that has money in our Michigan class has made more than 4 times what they budgeted for. So we've made over, I was just doing the math on it, we've made over $180,000 in interest. That's just phenomenal, since that's in the 1-year period. So I would make a motion to approve the March 31st, 2024 financial reports. I'll second. Yes, absolutely.
Susan?
Yes.
David?
Yep.
Debbie? Linda's absent. Chris?
Yeah.
Shelby, yes. Kim? Kim?
Yes.
Is that it?
Yep.
Make the motion to accept the clerk's reports as given.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Susan, you're up.
So, I emailed the cash summary report and investment report to the board as usual. It's really hard to follow the clerk because everything she says, it's like I can say ditto. And so much left to say. But I would like to say I was very happy that I could go to the MTA conference this year because this is the first year, this whole term, that I was able to attend because I finally got a farm sitter. And it's, when you live on a farm, it's hard to leave the farm. And so I was very happy to go because I had gone in the previous board, so I did know what it was about. But it is a very educational experience. And I think the most valuable thing is that we do talk with other officials. And it's one thing to learn about all the rules and regulations and the laws and everything like that in the classes, but when you sit down and talk to the other officials that are in townships just like you are, probably comparable in size or makeup. And they are experiencing the same problems we are. And it's good to get real life solutions, you know, maybe things that they have done to fix things. And I find that really invaluable. And that and the networking, what's really great is, you know, most of these classes are taught by professionals, lawyers, all kinds of high-ranking officials, and they say, here's my email, here's a phone number, you can call me. And I think that's great if you need to ask a question. So anyway, I was very happy to go. I wasn't real happy to be part of our little skit that week that these two thought up. They had a themed dinner. And
It was great.
it was great. We did make a spectacle of ourselves. We did get on the video, the recap roll, quite a few of our pictures. They took quite a few pictures of us, so I was kind of embarrassed, but I was a good sport. I will say that. So, but it was fun. The other thing is I want to point out that you know, again, we're getting ready for the audit that's coming up, and I'm looking forward to this new auditor that we're going to get, and I think that's it.
Hello, Hector.
Yeah, I think that's it. So,
I feel like I should let them know that I am a Olympic 1 gold
Oh,
and 2
that's right.
silver medal winner. Their theme was Olympic,
1 bronze.
1 bronze, yeah.
So here I was talking about how embarrassed I was, and these two, they did win medals, so congratulations to you guys.
It was a team effort. They said we need a team of clerks, supervisors, treasurers, and trustees. And Belinda grabs my arm, I got a clerk. So I got on a group with 3 other ladies, and it was so much fun. We did 3 different competitions. The first one, we took gold, and that was the
Bicycle race.
bicycles, these
Tricycle.
big tricycles. And then we did a rowing one, we got silver, and then we did horses, those were a trip, yeah. So that was fun.
So I make a motion to accept the treasurer's report as given.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Assessors, I make a motion to accept the assessors report in the packet.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Township committee, their reports. What are we gonna do with that, Susan?
Yeah, I would say that was covered mostly with our resolution agenda items.
Okay,
Yeah.
farmland preservation,
There was no meeting.
planning commission,
I did not attend, I was in Florida, but I do have some information. We did an election of officers. Wendy Albers is the new secretary, vice chair is still Dan Wolf, chairperson is Bob York, I'm sorry. And I guess the rest of it doesn't really matter. And as far, but some of the commissioners are saying they need training, Mr. Spence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I've reached out to Carlisle Wortman, and hopefully Laura and possibly John Enos are gonna come out, and then also she referred me to a planning, America Planning Institution, yeah, so I actually set up a profile on that today, so hopefully we'll be able to get some training through there as well.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you very much.
and we can get them on MTA. We have the membership, and we can get them on MTA, and they can do, you know, online training as well.
so I make a motion to accept the planning commission report as given.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Urban County, Linda did not attend it because of some personal commitment. So open public comment at 8:44. Anybody on camera?
Tall people. As you know, as most of you know, I helped codify the water and sewer ordinances several years ago. So it occurred to me that when I read the original ordinance, it said in 1970 that the water and sewer, the utility department should be audited yearly. So I was wondering if we had not changed that, are we doing that? Because it seems like a good idea that our largest enterprise, or whatever you want to call it, our biggest money maker and money loser should probably be audited. So I'm just bringing that up. Thanks.
Anybody else?
I had something to say too. I just wanted to make an observation that at the February 20th meeting, that the supervisor voted yes for the resolutions for the new building. But between now and then, Susan brought the cost down in her building group to acceptable amount, and the supervisor voted no. That's it.
Then in my defense, I have a right to vote any way I want, and I do have a right to change my mind.
That board response,
That's
Jack.
That's anybody on this board. All right, go ahead.
I've been listening to the attorney talk, and my dad's a hillbilly, so I'm a hillbilly. I'm not that smart. I barely graduated high school. But I just heard about going after the brothers' auto repair and the KB. They're saying the auto repair, the brothers is non-compliant. The guy behind me is non-compliant. He's been non-compliant right from Laura Crutz since the mid to late 70s. Why is he not getting ticketed for all this stuff? There's still trucking companies running out of there. There's a huge blight problem behind my house. Why isn't he being ticketed, but you're gonna ticket just a residential person and ticket him? And then my next door neighbor, because he comes down and bitches about what's going on by his house, he's right next to me. That next week, he got a blight ordinance. He had a car, he was putting brakes on the front, in his driveway by the front door with legal tags on it. He had to take care of that car and go through all this hassle to get that fixed. Then the other gentleman on Rossville Road that come in, Howard Smallwood, he come in with me and made complaints, and all of a sudden, wow, he got ticketed. And then, wow, a month later, he got ticketed again. So how come the guy behind me is not getting ticketed, but you're ticketing KB and brothers, and is it because they're Arabic descendants, and the guy out back's white? How can you sit there and say one guy's gonna get a ticket, the next guy's not? The guy gets the ticket to my next door neighbor, but he goes past 4 trailers and 3 tractor trailers sitting on Talladega Road that runs out of there every day. He doesn't get a ticket out back for running all the 15 or 20 businesses that run out of there every day and come back in. Why isn't he getting a ticket? All you guys tell me is it's because it's in court. No, the township rule says nobody can run a business out of another business. It says it right on it. You can't dump tires all around where people see it. You can't dump boats on the ground where people see it. You can't park 450 cars with the fence not blocking it. Why isn't somebody else getting tickets? You guys